Good afternoon, Bulldogs. As most of you are aware, last week, school districts across the state received their state aid allocations for the 2024 2025 school year. Like many, we were taken aback to find out that we had a reduction in aid of nearly $1 million, the largest in Morris County and one of the largest in New Jersey. I met with the New Jersey Department of Education last week after the state aid numbers were released to do two things. First, to get a better understanding of how the funding formula worked to reduce us by such a large amount, and second, to see if there were any action that could be taken by the district to try to attempt to recoup some of what had been lost. It is important to share that in my discussions, the representatives from the New Jersey Department of Education clearly stated that the reduction in aid had nothing to do with the operations of the district. The school funding formula uses a number of metrics that are all part of the calculation that determines the allocations that each district across the state receives. District enrollment is one of the metrics that is used. Our enrollment has remained steady across the district, and we have actually experienced a small growth in total enrollment over the past 3 years. One change that did occur was the number of on roll students residing in Butler. That enrollment number did dip slightly over that time. Our district only receives aid for students residing in Butler. Ironically, our Bulldogs from Bloomingdale are not calculated in that aid total. However, these students are also not calculated in Bloomingdale's aid total either. Essentially, these students do not receive direct aid. When I asked the state about this, they shared that this is the case across the state in all send receive relationships. Regardless of this, it was not the crux of our reduction. This only had a minimal impact. There were two factors that played the largest role in our reduction in state aid. The first was the change in equalized home values within Butler. Our town saw an increase in equalized home value of nearly $98.5 million, meaning that an average assessed home value increased by a fairly sizable amount. The second factor was the average income per household in town also increased. In total, the district income level rose by $28.4 million. These two factors worked in combination to place Butler in a higher socioeconomic bracket. This new classification changed where we had been placed in the state school funding formula, and due to that, we experienced a reduction in aid. Despite these changes, it is important to note that even with the increase in home values, school districts are capped on their budgets each year. We are only able to raise the budget by 2% on the tax levy from the prior year. So, even as home values increased and some within our town saw increases in their personal tax statements, that increase did not calculate to larger share used to fund the district's budget. To give an example, if the total tax levy last year was $1,000, regardless of the change in home value or tax liability, we are only able to raise that $1,000 by 2%, or $20. Within that formula, due to our change in socioeconomic classification, it is calculated that the fair share of funding from taxes should be $1,500. The school is still only able to raise the levy on $1,000 prior. There is no adjustment outside of the formula that takes into account the changes which are caused outside of our control. I use smaller numbers to illustrate more easily in an effort to try to clarify how the funding formula works. As such, increases to taxes based on home assessments did not equate to increased funding for the schools. However, within the formula uses assessed value and median home income to determine what they believe should be the local fair share. The difference we experienced this year in that amount was the reduction we experienced in aid, and we are not able to make up the difference through the 2% increase on the total budget, even if the formula says we should have seen a higher local fair share. That leaves us with the largest question that remains. How does our school district make up for the loss in aid? We've been working on this since the numbers were shared with us last week. As we devise a strategy At the heart of all of our decisions is what will be best for our students, as it has always been. We are determined to not allow this to defer the pathway we've been on. We are determined to continue to prove why Butler is the best small school district in the state of New Jersey. As such, the two non negotiable items driving all of our decisions are our commitment to small class sizes and our commitment to keep all of the programs that we've placed in our district intact. Over the past 6 years, we have been a model for other districts, and we intend to continue to be such. We pride ourselves on the tenets of our portrait of a graduate, and we intend to model those tenets as we move through this. We will be visionary in our plan. We will exemplify resilience. We will make sure that our district remains academically strong. We intend on making our students continue to have all of the experiences that we've always offered and they've always enjoyed through our activities, our electives, and our athletics. We will be presenting our budget plan at the March Board of Education meeting, which will be on Thursday, March 14th at 6:30 p.m. in the Butler High School auditorium. If you are unable to attend that meeting, we will also post a presentation on our website. We intend to be transparent in our plans moving forward to demonstrate the commitments I have shared with you today. I am proud to be the superintendent of this great district. I am proud to be able to say to each of you that we are Bulldogs, and we will show the grit necessary to move past any hurdle we face. We remain focused on what is best for our children, and we will always operate within that focus. While difficult, this will not affect our progress and growth. Be well, Bulldogs.